Hi, everybody. This is Slava Kurilyak at Produvia, and I am super excited for you to join me on this live stream where we talk about how to generate text using natural language processing and deep learning technologies. I am excited to get started for 3 reasons. Number one, natural language processing is one of the hottest trends in artificial intelligence today. Number two, generating text is an idea worth exploring. And so number three, I am excited because I have been using natural language processing technologies for the last 7 years, and I am more than happy to explain how you can leverage this same technology. So let's get started. You'll now see the live demonstration of my screen, how to generate text using natural language processing and deep learning technologies. Let's get started. I promise you that you and your team can save hundreds of hours each year, right? You and your content marketing team can do this. How, you might ask? Well, let's break this down. A marketing team, right? The average salary in the United States for one marketer is approximately 60,000 American dollars, right? If we're scaling that team, if you or your company has raised capital and you're looking to hire more marketers, more content writers, more bloggers, writers, right? You're now paying up to 180,000 for a team of 3 and up to 300,000 per year for a team of 5. And each person is working, right? So how much time are they spending working at your company, right? One marketer will spend approximately 1,650 hours each year. And if we're talking about a team of 5, you're accumulating an average of over 8,000 working hours each year, right? So a company that's raised capital, a company that's growing, and that company's, let's say they're looking for 5 marketers, they're spending upwards of 300,000 per year, and they're accumulating of approximately 8,000 hours of work. So let's see how we can improve on this. You might have guessed by the title of this presentation that text generation is how we will be able to save your company hundreds of hours of marketing efforts. So text generation. The goal here is to generate text using natural language processing technologies. And the method is that we will use a transformer model. Now, transformer models are how you would go about leveraging natural language processing technologies, how you would go about creating a language model. These models are called transformers because they are really transforming data. And through this transformation, we are modeling language and we are understanding language computationally. So what does that mean? What does that imply? Well, let me share with you 3 secrets of text generation. The first secret: text generation models are cheaper than growing your marketing team. They're cheaper. To develop a model, you simply need to pay once. To train a model, one cost. To put this model into production, one cost. On the other hand, training and employing workforce requires an ongoing cost. This cost is usually a salary, or a yearly salary. So if we're talking about what is cheaper, well, if we think about the value of a startup, we're talking about a duration in time. Usually that's years, right? So we're not talking about what is the impact of one employee on a single year. We're usually talking about the impact of a single employee on the duration of the company, right? Same thing happens for technology. If we have a technology solving a specific problem, then we're actually looking over the impact of that technology over time. And so if we're looking at the cost of the employee is recurring, it's yearly, and the cost of a machine learning model is usually one time. Now, this does not include retraining models, in other words, improving technology. But a simple way to think of it is like, in order to get the model up to speed and in production, you simply need to pay once. And in order to hire a new marketer, you need to have an ongoing expense. So the first secret is text generation models are cheaper than hiring a new employee, right? And these employees are quite diverse, right? Marketing team is quite diverse today. If it's a company that's scaling, you may have the title of a blogger or writer, but as you sort of increase the complexity, as you start to hire for more specialized roles, there you may be looking for specific titles like technical writer, content editor, content creator. So these specific roles are all what I would consider to be a marketing role. And so if we're comparing apples to apples, then machine learning models are usually cheaper than hiring employees because of the salary costs. So this is secret number one. And let's move forward. So what is secret number two? Text generation models will deliver results faster than your marketing team. So if we're looking to create an impact on your business, then we need to deliver results faster. And today, the fastest way to do so is to develop a model, put it into production, and use it. Now, hiring and training employees also takes time, but the difference is that once a model is built, once the model is in production, once it's usable, the model can give you the results you're looking for in real time or almost real time, right? So imagine you click a button and you generate text within seconds. How much of an impact would that make on your company, right? If we're looking at being able to click a button to create something that did not exist before, to create a piece of content, to create a draft note, a draft report, a draft email, a draft post, how much value would that bring to your company, right? This is the ultimate question of creating a model that can give you something of value, and ask yourself, is that model meaningful? How fast can this model deliver results? Well, the answer is in real time. The answer is in seconds. Now, you contrast that to what you consider sort of a more traditional route, where you have a marketer do a specific task. In that case, the marketer will take time. The marketer will usually deliver within hours, sometimes days, sometimes weeks. And so if we're comparing apples to apples, well, the machine learning model is now delivering in real time, and the marketer, unfortunately, is able to deliver slightly less performant than the machine learning model. So secret number two is text generation models deliver results faster. And secret number three is it's easy to get started using pre-trained natural language processing models. So what does that mean? It's easy to get started. But Slava, you may ask, aren't AI models difficult? Aren't they complex? Well, yes and no. Yes, if you are building something from scratch, if you're building a custom solution, that can be quite complex. But no, if you want to save yourself time, then you want to use technologies that have been, in a way, pre-built or packaged for you. So let's break this down. What does that mean? Pre-trained models. To create a model, you often need to train it on some data, right? So imagine this as the initial data that you find online or somebody else finds for you. You train that model on that data. This is step one. Step two is you then find a different data, perhaps your data, a custom data set. And what you do is you leverage the learnings from model in step one, and you apply the learnings to model in step two. So you do what's considered a transfer learning technique, or you apply the learnings from model one to model two. This is where you leverage pre-trained models, and this is how pre-trained models are able to save you time. You don't have to create a data that requires millions of data points. You don't have to create a data set that requires hundreds of thousands of data points. To use pre-trained models, you simply need to create a data set where you have at least hundreds, sometimes thousands of examples of categories of data that you can use. And there you're leveraging transfer learning, and you're leveraging pre-trained models to save yourself a lot of time. So there are three secrets to text generation. The first being that these models are cheaper than growing or hiring new marketers on your team. Secret number two is that these models are able to deliver results faster. And secret number three, it's easier than ever to get started using natural language processing and text generation. Hopefully that gives you an insight of what is the reality of text generation models and how they work. And I also now want to give you a few examples, right? So, we talk about text generation. I've mentioned to you that we need to use a transformer model or transformer architecture, to be more specific, to ensure that we create text or generate text. But what does that entail, right? So if you go back and you're talking to your team and you're asking yourself, okay, so what do we look at? What do we do? Can you give us examples of a text generation model? Well, this is a perfect opportunity for you to learn how this works. So I want to share with you 5 of the most popular transformer models for text generation. Why 5? Well, I want to keep it simple, right? There are hundreds by now, if not thousands, of different models that can generate text. And without overwhelming you with choices, I want to present to you 5 of the most popular, but I also want to mention to you 5 of the most recent text generation models, right? These transformer-based language learning or language models are very important if you want to do text generation. So let's dive into it. The first one is called BERT, B-E-R-T, which is one of the most adopted transformer-based language models released by Google team. Right? This is a an architecture which was made publicly available for anyone around the world to use back in 2018. That's only 2 years ago, right? So what happened since? After Google released this architecture, and after researchers and practitioners had a chance to dive into this technology, we saw hundreds, if not thousands, of implementations of BERT being used to solve many problems, one of which is text generation. So text generation is, I remind everyone, for those who are joining the live stream, we're discussing how to generate text using natural language and learning technology. So text is the goal of generating text by modeling language using computers. So this is not where we explicitly say, hey, this word represents something else. This is where we ask computer, generate a new word for me, generate a new sentence, a new paragraph, a new report, right? That's how far we can push it. We can go as far as generate a new essay for me. So this is the context I want you to think about. How much value would you gain from being able to generate blog posts, essays, reports, right? So coming back to our transformer-based language model, the most popular by far is the transformer. The transformer model is called BERT. The second most popular is an architecture called transformer. It's a little bit confusing, but nonetheless, this is an architecture that was first released in 2017. So think of it like transformer-based language models are the umbrella term to describe what's happening, and the transformer architecture, the specific implementation, that first initial implementation was released in 2017. So this is a brand new field, only 3 years old. And transformer-based language models are definitely a must to understand. So let's dive further into the top 5 transformer models. ROBERTA. So ROBERTA was a language model released in 2019. This is the third most popular language model, and this is a modification of Google's BERT model. So if you're interested to learn more about how transformers work, how to generate text, I highly encourage you to look into the top 3, right? So BERT, transformer, and ROBERTA is where you would start. The next one, highly recommend you look into this, is GPT-2. So GPT-2 has a very unique story. I want to share with you the background to this, and I'll share with you an upgrade of this architecture in the follow-up slides. So GPT-2 is an architecture released by OpenAI. OpenAI is one of the leading AI companies. This is a company that aims to democratize access to AI technology. And in that sort of process of achieving the mission, they have developed a very prominent, very realistic model called GPT-2. GPT-2 was a model that was released in the open source, and this had profound implications, because for the first time it was able to generate very real, very accurate language models. And what I mean by real or accurate is, imagine looking at a model that is indistinguishable from what a model looks like that's written by a person. So if you cannot tell if a piece of text is written by a person, if that text looks real, then this is the ultimate vision of transformer model. This is the ultimate vision of any language model. So GPT-2 is a model that was developed by OpenAI, and this is the fourth most popular model adopted by the community. And the fifth model is XL Net. That's XLNET. This is a model that also came out in 2019, and I highly encourage everyone who is joining this live stream to do your research, go online, look into these models, look into these architectures. You will have a better understanding of how they work. And again, this is a glimpse. These are the top 5 transformer language models that are used to generate text. And if you are interested, feel free to look into them further. So let me now get to the most recent 5 language models. So let's jump into the slide again. And these models are all new models. They all came out in 2020. And I want to emphasize 5 just so that you can better understand, what are the latest technologies, how are they solving text generation. So Electra is one of them. GPT-3 is the one I want to bring your attention to because it is an upgraded edition of the OpenAI's GPT-2. So GPT-3 is not open source, but it is truly revolutionary. We're talking about being able to generate text that looks and feels and is indistinguishable from what a real blogger or writer would actually write about. Imagine reading a piece of text and you cannot tell if it's real. You cannot tell if it's fake because it's so indistinguishable from what a real writer would look like. So this is the context to GPT-3. Highly recommend you check it out and look into their research paper. So I want to briefly run through the top 5. Reformer is the 4th, Longformer, and Feedback Transformer. These are different variations of transformers. These are different variations of architectures that people have developed. Mind you, these are the latest. They may not have the battle-tested experience as the others that I've mentioned to you before, the most popular, but they do have very specific use cases to solve very specific problems. So if you have custom data sets, if you are looking to achieve a specific outcome, a specific use case for generating text, then these latest architectures, Electra GPT-3, Reformer, Longformer, and Feedback Transformers are a potential use case for you. So I've mentioned to you so far 5 of the most popular, 5 of the most recent. And now I want to get into the question. Do you want to get started with text generation? Are you ready? Are you interested? Do I have your attention? Then you have 3 options. Option A, that my team and I, we develop a natural language strategy, and this strategy is worth $10,000. This strategy allows you to better understand how natural language processing can help you and your business. This strategy allows you to see the technology impacts on your business. Now, one of these technology impacts could be that through text generation, you're able to generate revenue, you're able to decrease costs, or you're able to save time, right? Each one of these are valuable for all businesses today. And so developing a custom natural language processing strategy that's aiming to accomplish text generation or aiming to solve other use cases like text classification, named entity recognition is highly, highly important for any business today. And here we're aiming to really deliver that value to you in a package or an option A. And here we price the value of this offering at $10,000, right? The next option is, the next question rather, is do you want to develop your own text generation model? And here, if you answer yes, then I'm glad you are interested. And I'm glad you are paying attention because I offer you option number 2. What is option number 2? We offer you natural language processing strategy development, and team and I at Produvia, we can create a data set just for you. This is at least $50,000 to $100,000 value. And the third part of this package is we develop this model, develop this text generation model. So now you can apply it at your business, right? So here we're talking about a business value of between $100,000 and $200,000. In total, the value of this package is $235,000. So hopefully that makes it clear on what you're able to gain by selecting option 3. And again, the goal is to generate revenue. The goal is to decrease costs and save your marketing team time. And you can do that by selecting one of the 3 options. Option B is you receive a strategy, you receive a data set, and you receive the model that can do the work for you. And the next question I have for you is, do you want to develop and manage your own text generation model? If you say yes, then I present to you the third and final option, option number C. My team and I develop natural language processing strategy for you. We develop a custom data set. We develop the custom model, but now we deploy it. We make it live. And this is at least $50,000 to $100,000 value. And more importantly, we train you and your team to make sure you derive the most value from this particular package. The question is not, can you develop a natural language processing model? The question is, how well can you adapt it? How well can you and your team leverage natural language processing? How well can you and your team generate text? Well, the answer to that question is not just on the development or the deployment, but the answer to that question is also on the training. So if you can train your team, if you can get them up to speed, if you can teach your content marketers, your writers, your bloggers to use this technology in their workflow, now you're saving them hundreds of hours each year. Right? Before, I've mentioned to you when I started this live stream that this live stream is meant to save your team up to 1,800 hours each year if you have a team of 5, and save your team up to $300,000 of costs. Now you can offload those costs and instead dedicate them to developing a technology that will allow you to go to the next level, right? As a business, you're growing. As a business owner, you're scaling. As a decision maker, you need to ensure your team is using the latest technologies to help you scale. And today, that latest technology is natural language processing. Today, that latest technology is deep learning. And so I highly encourage you to leverage this technology and ensure that you are moving forward. So to come back to how much value this brings to your company, option C is the third option, which is valued at more than 320,000 American dollars. So the next step, I encourage you to schedule a call with me. I encourage you to schedule a call with Produvia, and I look forward to discussing with you about the impacts of text generation and how they can change your company. Text generation is a truly remarkable use case. It is one of the best use cases of leveraging natural language processing technology today. It is one of the best ways to use deep learning today because it's able to explore something that was not possible before. Transformer models, language modeling, is able to answer questions that were not possible 5, 10 years ago, right? I've showed you before that transformer models architectures were only recent as of 2017, right? So if you are using this technology, then you are way ahead of your competition. If you're leveraging natural language processing technology, then you are creating a massive shift between yourself and your competitors. If you're interested to further discuss how you would go about leveraging text generation, if you're interested to discuss any one of the three options I've shared with you in this presentation, option A, option B, or option C, then I highly encourage you to reach out. Again, we're talking about delivering you and your company massive value from $320,000 to $235,000 to $10,000 in value, depending on the option you select. And I encourage you to schedule a discovery call with me, right? There's so many ideas, there's so many opportunities in this space. Text generation is one of the most promising use cases today. If you are a media company, if you're a retailer, if you are a product development company, generating text is critical. Generating text and getting feedback from your market is critical. Being ahead of your competition is how you stand out. And using the latest technologies of artificial intelligence, of natural language processing, is how you get there. If you're interested to generate text, if you're interested to crush your competition, if you're interested to leverage the best of artificial intelligence, then I highly recommend you schedule a discovery call with me, and we can further chat about how Produvia, how my team and I can help you to scale your company to the next level. I am super thankful that you've joined me on this live stream. I am excited to hear from you, and I look forward to sharing more live streams in the future. I remind everyone that this is a series of live streams that I do on a weekly basis. If you're interested to learn about my upcoming live streams, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell icon below or to the side, and you will be notified of upcoming live streams. I also want to bring to your attention that I will be doing a new series where I interview founders, executives, decision makers around the world, and I ask them about the impacts of technology on their business. I interview experts, I interview founders, because I want to bring their insights to your company. I want to help you bridge the gap between technology and business. I want to help you to scale your startup to the next level. And I encourage you to subscribe to know of when these interviews will occur. These interviews will be live streamed. These interviews will provide a lot of content, a lot of value, and these live streams will educate by sharing different client and customer perspectives. And hopefully this gives you insights on how you would go about using AI technology, how you would go about using the latest and greatest state-of-the-art technologies. If you're interested, subscribe. If you want to chat with me and my team, feel free to schedule a call. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for your time.